Elige sentirte bien.
Algunos de los productos y la cantidad de azúcar que tiene cada uno de ellos. Escuchemos.
The first thing to know is that 4 grams of sugar is 1 teaspoon. So with that in mind, let's look at some products. It's no surprise Coca-Cola has a lot of sugar. 40 grams a can, that's 10 teaspoons. But much of the sugar we eat is hidden in foods we don't necessarily think of as sweet. This oatmeal, 3 3/4 teaspoons of sugar a bowl. This vanilla-flavored yogurt, nearly 5 teaspoons in just half a cup. You can find sugar added to bread, soup, all kinds of condiments, hot dogs. This chicken dinner labeled Healthy Choice has 5.5 teaspoons of sugar in every serving. Is this the result? There's no question as our consumption of sugars has grown, so have our bodies. Canada doesn't keep good statistics, so we've used American ones. And those stats raise the troubling question, are we changing our evolutionary shape? Here's the line showing our sugar consumption for the last 50 years. Here's the number of people who've become overweight and obese. Now, look at this line. It's for cases of type 2 diabetes. And this one, diseases of the heart. Back in the 80s and 90s, we used to blame a lot of those problems on dietary fat. But then we started taking fat out of our foods. Did the incidence of disease go down? No. So that got a lot of doctors and nutritionists asking why. The answer, according to an increasingly vocal group, is sugar.
Which was worse, the sugar or the fat? The sugar 1,000 times over.
Robert Lustig, doctor, author, medical professor, and one of the leaders of the anti-sugar campaign.
The fact is, our food supply has been altered and adulterated under our very noses and in plain sight over the past 30 years.
In addition to treating obese kids, Lustig is a YouTube sensation. His lecture on sugar has been seen by nearly 4 million people around the world, and he doesn't pull his punches.
The fat's going down, the sugar is going up, and we're all getting sick.
You use words, you use poison, you use toxic.
Mm-hmm. Certainly I use those words, and I mean them. This is not hyperbole. This is the real deal. Everyone thinks that the bad effects of sugar are because sugar has empty calories. What I'm saying is, no, actually, there are lots of things that do have empty calories that are not necessarily poisons.
Poisonous, he says, because of what too much sugar does in our body. So let's take a look at that. Sugar is made up of 2 molecules, one called glucose, here in blue, the other fructose, in red. When they separate in our gut, the glucose circulates throughout our body, feeding our muscles and our brain. But the fructose goes right to our liver, and it's in the liver where all kinds of problems begin.
When you metabolize fructose in excess, your liver has no choice but to turn that energy into liver fat. And that liver fat then causes all of the downstream metabolic diseases.
We'll tell you more about those diseases in a moment. But first, let's talk about your brain. Too much fructose, says Lustig, shuts down the part of your brain that tells you when you're full.
It doesn't get registered by the brain as you're having eaten. So, if you take a kid and prep them with a soft drink and then let them loose at the fast food restaurant.
Ustedes pueden ver el documental completo, se llama Los peligros del azúcar, y recuerden el anterior que les había recomendado, That Sugar Film, que es la película del azúcar, traducido al español, donde realmente te vas a dar cuenta que hay azúcar oculta donde no tenías idea que existía. Incluso en vitaminas que se les dan a nuestros bebés, en gotas saborizadas. Fíjense que cuando me preguntan sobre la vitamina C, yo siempre les digo y les recomiendo que puedan adquirir vitamina C, sobre todo en polvo, pura, porque a veces podemos suplementar, más allá de las frutas y vegetales, que consumimos que tengan vitamina C muchas veces no es suficiente para el organismo, entonces podemos suplementar. Pero busquen la vitamina C en polvo blanca pura, porque ¿qué es lo que adquirimos en la farmacia, por ejemplo? Son esas tabletitas efervescentes color naranja. ¿Qué tienen esas tabletitas efervescentes? Tartrazina. ¿Se acuerdan que les dije que todo lo que le da color naranja tiene tartrazina? Que ya estaba relacionado científicamente con asma, alergias, déficit de atención, hiperactividad en los niños. Bueno, lo tiene esa vitamina C. Y por otro lado, también tiene gran cantidad de azúcar. Fíjense etiquetas, leamos, por favor. Nos vamos a deslumbrar y realmente a sorprender por todo lo que contiene azúcar sin que nosotros lo sepamos. Por eso hoy en día el consumo de ser, creo que era 4 kilos lo que anteriormente en la antigüedad se consumía por persona al año, ahora está llegando a más de 70 kilos por persona al año, 70 kilos de azúcar. Por eso estamos como estamos, por eso nuestra sociedad está cada vez más enferma. El propósito es quitarnos las vendas, comenzar a hacer una alimentación consciente para nosotros y para nuestros niños.